Hey guys, Jay here, and right now we're about to go over a seller's storefront that I predict can do upwards of $500,000 or so in potential sales, but it actually makes $0. Now you might be saying, how is that even possible? And again, it might not be completely $0, but it's gonna make a lot of sense as we go through it and go through some of the products that they're trying to sell or trying to compete with when it comes to selling on the Amazon marketplace. Okay, so I want to say this in advance. So this seller right here, Shot Time Sports, this is their name, 6 reviews, decently new seller, actually pretty new seller in the space. This is nothing against you, and if you're watching this video somehow, some way the algorithm found you, then just take it as a learning experience and to completely shift your entire strategy with your business, because this could be literally the difference between thousands and thousands of dollars coming into your pocket or bank account with Amazon, or you quitting the business in a few months. Okay, so here we are on this seller storefront. We're going through it with SellerAmp, which is a good way to reverse source a seller storefront right here. And right here, just we see all of the brands that this seller is carrying, right? So we have Nike, Timberland, Dr. Bronner's, Hey Dude, 100%, never heard of it, and a few other miscellaneous ones. Okay, and you can tell that this seller has 83 products just from Nike alone. So you can already tell, according to if you've ever seen one of my videos, that this is not on the favorable side when it comes to starting or growing an Amazon business, especially with 89 of these products being clothing, shoes, and jewelry. Okay, so we can kind of foreshadow some trouble already before we even look into it, that there's not going to be so much profit when it comes to breaking down a lot of these products. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to point out a few key things on each listing here, and it's going to make a lot of sense as we go through and why or why not the seller really isn't making any money. Okay, so let's go through the first product here, which is an EA Sports FC, soccer, essentially standard edition game. All right, selling for $24 is what the seller has it listed at, and it does about 100 sales per month. So across the entire listing, the opportunity here is about $2,000, give or take a little bit, in sales every single month. Now, there's a few other sellers on this listing, as you can tell, 57, okay, if you can call that a few. So there's a ton of competition, a ton of different sellers, and they're all competing for essentially 100 sales per month on a $20 product. There's not much upside, right? There's a lot of people, a lot of fishermen fishing in a small pond right here. But this is not the trick. The big thing here is to spot this. This seller has his price listed at $24.93. You can see it right here. It says storefront price. So essentially, he's looking to sell his units at this price because maybe that's where his profitability is. That's what his desired ROI is. That's what he thinks based on the history of the product, that this is the best opportunity to sell this product, okay? That's how we all list our listings or products when it comes to selling on Amazon. But what you're gonna notice here is that this is actually the magic number that you have to work off of, right? So this magic number of $18.99 is the buy box price. And the buy box, if you don't know by now, is essentially that big buy button when you're an Amazon customer shopping on Amazon to literally hit buy. You think you're just buying from Amazon.com, but really there's a ton of third-party sellers, and other Amazon sellers will know this, okay? But this is the actual buy box number or potential buy button that's presented to customers. This is where you want to be. You don't want to be at a price of $24.93. Now, I understand he might be priced there because that's where his profitability is. He might be saying, well, Jay, I can't price it at $18.99 or $19 because I'm losing. Well, the real answer to that, it's a hard truth, is you shouldn't be selling this product, right? Or finding it at a much better buy cost. Now, there's a bunch of red flags with this product here, right? 57 other sellers and only 100 sales per month, a little bit low selling price and whatnot. There's a ton of different red flags with this, but this is the major one. Now, if we just go through his storefront, right, we have Nike, which again, like I tell you guys, it's a terrible business model to get into the space of trying to sell Nike, selling clothes, which have a ton of returns and refunds and disasters with already, okay? But if you can see here, look at all of his listings. Selling at $45, the buy box is at $32. Selling at $93, the buy box is at $93. This one's a little bit better, okay? I'll give him a little bit slack on this one. But here we go. Selling at $154, buy box is at $99. And you can tell here, if we look at the volume on these listings, I would give him more slack if it was selling 1,000 times or 500 times a month, because maybe there was a chance to, a few smaller sellers sold out and then it hit his price and he got a few sales in there. But when it's only selling 50 times per month or less than 50 times per month, and you're 30% over the buy box cost, there is literally almost no chance of you getting sales, whether it's today or 3 years from now, if you still had inventory at Amazon, which you would be collecting negative profit by all of those inventory freeze just continuing to stack up. And this goes across every single product here, right? Selling at $99.99 right here. Buy box at $82. He has one in stock. Selling at $99.99. No buy box, which is even worse. That means when there's no buy box in the Amazon listing, the potential opportunity for sales goes down by 90%. So you're already priced way over the buy box, and the buy box just went away, so it's essentially crushed. Your opportunity to get sales just went a lot lower than what it was before, okay? So it's a completely bad situation, getting even worse. And this one, I'll give them a little bit of credit for. Again, it has 14 sales per month on a variation. Maybe this sells 1 or 2 times a month, so who knows if you even get a sale if you're right in the buy box. But he is at the buy box price here. I'll have to give him a little bit of credit, okay? But if we keep going through it, we have a Nike Elite Hoops backpack, $87. Buy box is $66 and 15 sales per month. The trend goes on and on and on as you continue to go through it. And it just happens through the entire storefront with all this stuff with Nike. Now, I want to highlight a little bit on one listing that I found that he's currently selling on, just to pull it up and break it down on the back end to see how it makes a little bit more sense. Now, this is a product. I'm not sure what this is, what this brand is. Maybe it's profitable. It looks a little bit niche. It looks like a Japanese product. So if you can find a really good buy cost for it, have at it. But let's break down exactly what this looks like on the back end. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is dive into the keeper chart. And you can see here, as always, we're looking for consistency across the board. 1, 2, and 3 on these top 3 charts to make sure that the product is selling at a consistent rate, consistent volume, consistent competition over time, right? And if I look here in the search chart, currently, there's about 10 sellers in this listing or so, but a month and a half ago there was 40 sellers, okay, and the price was at $18. Now it's at $22. Well, look what happens when I show you guys where he has his price listed at, which is $29.99. Shot Time Sports. Remember, that's the seller that we're evaluating. He's priced at $29.99, which is 30% over this entire current buy box price, which the buy box is right here. So it made me thought, well, maybe should I go into the 1 year chart? Was there a point in time where I actually started to sell at $29.99? Or if you go through it here on the first top chart here on the Keepa, 18, 19, 22, 23, 22, 21. Over the past year, it's never hit $29.99. Even with all this volume here, which was in about May, right? There was 600 sales per month, you could see here, and it was still selling at about 18. It even went down to 16. Well, I had to open up the all-time chart, right? And I said to myself, well, is there a time where maybe he had stock 2 years ago that was selling at that price that he wants to look to sell it at again because he's buying at the same supplier price? If I go back here, all the way from to 2025, 2024, going into 2023, this product, which is 3 years ago now at this point, has never hit $29.99 in sales. Now, again, I don't want to, this is a really good example to learn from and to build off of this, but if I had to bet my bottom dollar and all the experience I've ever learned when it comes to selling on Amazon, there is 0.00001% chance that this seller ever gets a sale, unless for some reason this went viral across TikTok and his 2 units would then maybe get sold out. So whatever amount of money, which he has 2 units into this product, which is probably about $30 or so, is essentially dead. It's dead inventory. It's not making him any money. It's just sitting at Amazon. It's collecting a little bit of storage fees, and it's just being essentially a waste into these Amazon warehouses until it sells, which it's never going to sell, right? Because you can even look at other sellers who are in front of him, 2196, 2201, 2291. They have 10 units, 13 units, 18 units, or 28 units, 10 units. And I'm sure new sellers jump on this listing all the time. And you can see here, even just a month ago, there was 40 sellers on this listing. So I imagine there was a whole lot more people who were in front of him next in line to get sales, okay? So I want to take it all the way to the next side of things to really give you guys perspective when it comes to building on an Amazon business, whether you're doing it right now or about to, the quickest way to failure when it comes to building this out. And this is aside from getting education, understanding what works, because clearly there is a bit of a knowledge gap here, to say the least, and say it in the nicest way, on deciding which product you should and shouldn't sell. Because even if you did have a profitable price at $22 or $23, listing at $29.99 is never going to help you. Even if it's at 120% ROI, it doesn't matter if you don't get any sales, right? So there is a bit of a knowledge gap, and you want to kind of get ahead of it before you run into the issue. So the quickest way to failure when it comes to building an Amazon business, right, outside of knowledge, outside of not having money and understanding and whatnot, is sitting on inventory that doesn't sell. And this is what I like to call dead inventory. Literally, right? Because in the Amazon space, which we're going to take it to an example right here in a second, is all about having a good amount of money, right? $1,000, $500 to invest into inventory, then making 30 or 40% ROI, and then making a profit, reinvesting it, paying yourself out some, and then building the business and so on, right? But here are some of the cues when it comes to not being able to sell through your inventory and having that dead inventory. Number one is Amazon is on the listing. So here, Amazon is clearly not in the listing because what you would see is essentially this orange wave that goes across the entire Keepa chart on this first chart. And it shows you Amazon's on the listing at a particular price. Okay, maybe if Amazon was on this listing, they'd be priced at like $11 or $9 because they always sell for essentially a very, very low cost, right? And if you're selling on listings or competing on listings with Amazon, you have no business. You are literally just going to be sitting on inventory and your money is going to be dead forever until Amazon says it's not dead. Even if you guys were at the same price, both at $20, you and Amazon and 100 other sellers, Amazon would win 100% of their sales because guess what? It's their business and they're going to prioritize their sales over yours, right? So Amazon on the listing is a guarantee failure. Okay, one of the biggest things that pops up. Also, bigger sellers or a big seller on this listing. And this question was actually just asked from somebody in YouTube here on one of the videos. And this is one that I see so many people bounce right over. And I've made a video on this. I've talked about it a ton of times in videos, but you want to make sure that you're competing as a beginner or even as a semi-experienced person or even a ton of experience with not big sellers. I don't care if you start the business with $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $1 million. If you're competing with big sellers and you're a new seller, new beginner, you are not going to succeed. Your inventory is just going to sit dead. And I know this. I'm not saying these top 2 points or even the third point that I'm about to mention, saying like oh, this is exactly what you have to do. I'm so smart. I'm such a guru. I'm saying this out of pain, okay? So I've literally been through this as a beginner. Even now, I could still run into the issue sometimes with particular listings. I'm facing this firsthand, getting no sales because a big seller is winning 100% of the sales. Amazon jumping on the listing and getting no sales because Amazon is crushing me. It just happened to me a few months ago, right? So this is talking literally from pain and firsthand experience, not from the outside looking in, okay? So again, if a big seller jumps on this listing, they have even 20 units in stock, 1,000 units in stock, 30 units in stock, whatever it may be, they are going to get 99.9% of those sales. I've seen it time and time after again, not just with my inventory, not just with friends' inventory, but just watching other sellers sit and cripple and essentially not have a business because the big players are in. And there's hundreds of millions of listings on Amazon that don't have big sellers that you can totally avoid. So it's not really a scary tactic, it's just the truth, all right? Number 3, price tanked and you're waiting. So now I don't know if this is a situation with this listing and this particular seller, but a lot of times what happens is you'll see this seller count increase here, right? If we just zoomed into this kind of chart right here, where all the sellers are jumping on, maybe it's during Q4, maybe it's during December, whatever it may be, and that price really comes down. Let's say when you bought the inventory, you were priced at $25, that was 30% ROI, you're hoping to sell it at $25. 2 weeks later, by the time you buy your inventory, it checks in and you're ready to sell it, the listing is now at $19, right? And it tanked by $6. Now, chances are, if you're making 30% ROI at $25, your entire profit is gone. There is no more profit. You were selling for a loss at $19. So what I do, or what other beginners have done in the past, which I have done, I should say, is I keep my price listed at $25 and I'll say, you know what? I'll just wait until all these sellers slowly sell out their inventory and then eventually I'll be back at 30% ROI. But what I don't realize is that for those 3-4 months, it could be forever, that I never even really realized, is that I'm just sitting on inventory that's not making me money in the business. It's literally becoming a waste. And now, I want to pull it right into this example because it puts it really into perspective. If you are selling, it's really going to open your eyes right now. Or if you're about to sell, it's going to open your eyes even more before you even get started. So if you have $2,000 to spend into inventory, not just a particular product, but the entire business. Let's say you pay for Amazon, the selling, $40 a month. You pay for some softwares, whatever it may be, and you have $2,000 to invest into inventory, right? And like I mentioned, Amazon is the inventory business. Literally, the money you invest into inventory is going to be the money that makes you or goes back into your pocket or goes back into the business. There's no other way to do it. We can't pick up a shovel. We can't drive an 18-wheeler. We can't do any other way to get paid other than our inventory being sold. So for the example, $1,000 is considered dead inventory. So that means we are priced exactly like this seller. We priced at $29.99. And there's a major seller on this listing, or Amazon's on this listing, whatever it may be, but our inventory is not selling for whatever reason it may be, right? Some of those reasons, there's no way we can sell through our inventory. So now 1,000 of that 2,000 is dead. It does no good for us. It's essentially wasted. So now you only have $1,000 to make ROI and profit on, right? And to really kind of put this in perspective, if you have $2,000 and you get 30% ROI across 3 or 4 products, that's $600 in profit in a month. That goes into your pocket, reinvestment, whatever it may be, right? Not a bad situation. But if you only have $1,000 and you make 30% ROI, that's $300 profit, right? Because the other 1,000 is dead. So the more and more you shrink your budget or opportunity to invest into good inventory, then the harder it becomes to make those profit numbers that you want to achieve, right? That's why the business is all about investing in inventory, having it turn around, get paid back into your bank account, reinvesting, and growing it faster and faster. And that's how it becomes easier over time. But if your inventory becomes dead, there is no business. It's one of the hardest ways to actually grow. And now, I'm sorry I have to use this seller as an example, but it just shows, right? With 83 Nike listings, just out of the 7 or 8 of ones we went by, 7 of them he wasn't even priced even competitively. So all this inventory he has, 8 units, 3 units, 1 unit, 2, whatever it may be, all these little units, they add up to 500, 1,000, 2,000 across 83 products. He might have $30 to $40 to $50,000 just sitting as dead inventory, not making him any money, not doing other work. It doesn't matter if you're waiting for 30% ROI. It doesn't matter whatever the situation may be. It is not making you any money, and it's one of the silent killers in an Amazon business. And typically, this happens to people who get into the business, beginners who don't really have the information on breaking down a keeper chart and breaking down a potential listing, understanding what to buy, what not to buy, what to avoid. There's so many little nuances, but when you do know it, you're on the better side of things, and it becomes a lot easier to really understand and put it into perspective. So there we go when it comes to a seller who has a lot of potential with revenue and is making $0. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm making a video as frequent as I can, probably every other day. Sometimes it would be daily, and to get you guys as much information as you possibly can for Amazon and growing your business. So I will see you guys in the next one.